All right, today we got a 2009 Volkswagen CC. The Volkswagens, Audis, some of the Mercedes are all very similar to this. They have what they call electronic parking brakes. And what that means is that a normal car, when you do brakes on it, you can usually get in here with a screwdriver and you can pry the caliper so that the piston recesses all the way into the bore. If you're watching this video by now, you're realizing that you can't do it that way. This has an electronic parking brake assembly on the back over here. I'll get a light back there so you see. This is all electronic back in here, and there's no way to actually retract that piston inside here unless you have a tool that you connect into the computer system of the car to retract it. So let me get the tool, and I'm going to show you what it looks like, and you'll have an idea of how to go about doing it. The only way to do the brakes on these particular cars, a Volkswagen, BMWs, some of the Audis, is you need a tool like this that you actually have to plug into under the dashboard into the computer connection, and you have to retract the parking brake with this tool. This one here is made by a company named Rotor. There's a lot of different brands out there, a lot of different manufacturers, but I like this one. So let's get inside the car, and I'll connect it up on the computer, the computer onto the car, I should say, and I'll show you how to retract it and then how to proceed doing the brakes. All right, now that we're inside the car, obviously I do have the car up on a lift. It's going to make it a little bit more difficult, but I'm going to show you where everything is located. Right underneath here, it's like a pinkish or purple connector. You got to plug this this piece for the computer into that. So we just plug that in, and the key needs to be in the on position in the vehicle. Once the key is in the on position, then you'll I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. It looks like it's fairly bright, the screen, but give you an idea of what it looks like. You see here where it says EPB. Electronic parking brake. You press that button there. I'm sorry. You go to the menu here and you scroll over to electronic parking brake. Sorry about the lens being so bright, but you highlight the electronic parking brake. Then we press the OK button, and that enters it's not Asian, it's European, so we're going to click over to European, and we're going to click the OK. And we know it's a Volkswagen CC, so we're going to scroll down until we get to the Volkswagen CC. We're at Volkswagen right now. And press the OK button. And it says and it's hard to see. It's communicating. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go into what's called, we don't want to read the codes, we don't want to erase the codes. We want to go into special functions, which is special functions. Sorry about that. Click on that, and then it says deactivate brake. That's what we want to do. We want to deactivate the parking brake, and when you deactivate it, it'll retract into the bore. So when I press this button now, we're going to actually see this piston here retract, or you should hear it. You can hear it retracting, and then when it stops, you retracted the piston all the way in. Then you would come back over to the vehicle itself here, and we already deactivated it. Now we're gonna turn the key back off and we'll do our brakes. Now we'll just take the key back out of the ignition. We don't need the key in the ignition any longer. we're going to unplug our computer temporarily, and then we'll come back to that momentarily and put it back together. But in the meantime, let's get started on the back brakes. Okay, now we're in the back of the car again, obviously, and I just want to show you, this is the electronic parking brake that we actually retracted right in here. So now this piston is retracted internally. Now what we can do is get in here with a screwdriver or any kind of tool that you have and push this piston back in, which is normally done. I always do with the screwdriver, and as you can see now, it pushes all the way back in, just as if you were doing a normal brake job. And now you see the caliper is loose. It slides just the way it's supposed to. The piston is now electronically retracted, plus I manually just pushed it back in now. And now what we're going to do is we're going to do the brakes like we would do a normal brake job. And for anybody who doesn't know how to do normal brake jobs, we're going to take out this screw here and this screw here, and then we're going to remove this caliper assembly. A word of advice is do not turn the key back on, and of course do not activate this on the computer. So make sure your key is out of the ignition, your computer is disconnected, and then we're going to take this caliper off. In this particular case, we have to change the rotors because they're grinding, and I'll show you how that's done. Fairly simple. What you're going to do is this is a 13mm socket, and you just go on here with a regular ratchet. And remember, loosening is always counterclockwise, tightening is clockwise. All right, I'm going to show you one other thing too, because I just see that's happening right now also. Let me grab a wrench and I'll show you. I'll show you real quick. A lot of times when you try to turn the bolt out, the entire bracket itself, the entire bolt assembly in here turns with it. The way to resolve that issue is you take a thin wall wrench and you put a wrench on it, and you will hold it from rotating. Just a normal wrench on it like this, and you'll hold it right here, and then you would take it out like you normally would. So let me put the camera back over and I'll show you how that goes. But you hold that, you hold it on the inside with the wrench, and then you break the bolt loose. They're not tight, they're just snug, so. We'll take that out. Same thing on the bottom caliper bolt too. You want to break that loose. Alright, once you have it loose enough, you can take it out by hand. One thing I just want to point out is that you're not gonna leave this caliper hanging just like any caliper. You always support it. We'll get a tie and we'll hold it up. What I usually do is just take a piece of hanger, take the caliper out of the way here, slide it through the top, and then just hook it so that it's not hanging on its electrical connectors by itself here. Alright, and then what we're going to do is down in the back, right down here, we're going to be removing this bolt here and that bolt down on the bottom. Get the back here, and that bolt right on the bottom down here. We have to take those out so we can get the rotor off of the car. So let me grab some tools and we'll come right back. Okay, and then I'm there's a special tool needed to take the caliper mounting bolts out. That's it's like a 12-point male, like a Torx, like that, but there's 12 points, and this one here is a 14 millimeter to be exact. And what you do is just put it into the bolts in the back there, and then we'll get a ratchet on it, and we'll break it loose. We're going to take out this bolt here. Sorry about the light. We're going to take out these two bolts, this one here and that one up there, and I'm going to take the mounting bracket off the car. So let me get up in there, and I'll show you how that goes. Any of you guys know Volkswagens, you know that they had these special tools that require a lot of times to get these tools off. Don't try using anything except the right tool, or you'll be kicking yourself because you're going to wind up stripping it out, and then you're really going to have a problem. Use the right tool for the right job. These are extremely tight too, so I usually use a breaker bar to snap it loose. And once you break it loose, obviously you can get in there with a regular ratchet. And then once you have your bolts out, you'll just pull your mounting bracket off of the car like you would any other car. And then we're going to just relocate this to the side for now. And then we're going to be removing our rotor, which is fairly simple. Basically all we're going to do is we're going to take out that screw right there, and our rotor should come right off the car. And the way I get a rotor off, especially if it's stuck, you just tap on it a few times and it should pop off. And the reason we had to change the rotors is because the customer drove until it ground down into the rotor already, so we're going to be replacing the rotors with new. So let me grab the new rotor and we'll get it on the car. I'll come right back. We've got a new rotor. We just make sure that the surface here is nice and clean, which it is. And then what we're going to do is we're going to reinstall the rotor onto the car. We're going to line it up with the bolt that we took out. We're going to put that on there. What I normally do is just screw a lug nut into the Volkswagens, because if it's off just a little bit, you're going to have a problem. And then what you do is you just reinstall the screw that you took out that holds the rotor to the vehicle itself. Whenever you put something in, you never screw it in with a ratchet, always screw it in by hand. Push the rotor until it's flush, and you catch the screw, and you tighten it in as far as you can by hand. And once you got it in by hand, you can tighten it in the rest of the way with the ratchet. Again, it doesn't have to be real tight, just want to snug it in there. That's it. Now, we know that these bolts now line up, so we can take these and take them out of the way. And then we're going to take our new brake pads and okay, then we're going to take the brake pads off the car, take them out, and line them up against the replacement pads just to make sure that they are exactly as they're supposed to. Looks good. Okay, then what you're going to do is you're going to lubricate everywhere that the brake pad touches into. You put a little bit of lubricant on there to make the brake pad slide. Same thing here, right? Then we take out the slide pins themselves. Take the slide pins out, put a little bit of lubricant on the pins, put them back in, so that it slides nice and easy. Same thing on this one here. Take it out, put a little bit of lubricant on there, spread it around, and you're good to go. All right? Now what we're going to do is we're going to remount the mounting bracket back onto the car as we took it off. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the brake pad in the back because it makes it a little bit easier with it out of the car. So we're just going to put the brake pad like this, and it's all set. And we're going to mount the brackets back onto here, and we'll screw the bolts in tight. Everything you're going to do is always by hand until you get it tightened in, and you can tighten it the rest. Tighten this up and we'll come right back. Okay, once you've got it tightened in by hand, as far as it'll go, you can get up there with your ratchet. It was very tight when we took it out, so we're going to put it back in the same way. You don't want to strip it, so hold it perfectly straight. Alright, so now the mounting bracket is tight. And what we're going to do is we have our one brake pad in all the way here already. We're going to replace the second pad in here like this, just as it came out. Pushes all the way in. Then we're going to take our mounting caliper here. What happened here, I'll just show you real quick. The piston didn't push all the way back in as far as it could have. So now, being that we already electronically recessed it back in as far as it can go, we're now going to be able to push it back in the rest of the way with a normal brake tool that we always use on every other car. that even has standard brakes. And as you can see right here, you'll see the piston starts to push all the way back in as it's supposed to. Now remember, we already retracted the parking brake inside with that tool as far as it goes, so now we can push that piston all the way back in. And as you can see now, it's in as far as it can go. All right? Okay, then you put your caliper back on over the top, and you catch your 2 screws that you previously took out. Screw them in by hand as tight as you can. You can tighten them down as far as you can by hand. Then you hold the back piece that's spinning in there, and then you tighten it in the rest of the way with the ratchet until it's tight. And then we come up to the top one. Again, the same thing. Hold the top nut so it doesn't spin in there. And then we're going to tighten this back bolt up. As with any caliper or bolt, we don't want to tighten it too tight because you don't want to strip it out. So you just snug it down till it's tight. And then you go just a little bit more so, like this. And that's it. You're all set. All right, so to recap, we retracted the caliper inside with the tool. Then we took the caliper mounting bracket off, put the new brake pads in, the new rotor in, put it all back together. The final step is we're going to go to the opposite side, and I'm going to replace the brakes on that, and then we'll come right back and I'll show you how to activate the parking brake with that computer again. So let me get the other side done, and we'll come right back. Okay, now that we got everything back together here, we got the brakes on, rotors on, the other side, the same exact thing. We did the brakes, we did the rotors on the other side. Everything's all set there. Calipers are all tight. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go back inside the vehicle. We're going to take that tool that we have, and we're going to connect into the computer again. So let me get up inside there and I'll show you what we're going to do. First thing we're going to do before we do anything is we're going to put the key in the ignition and turn it on. We're not going to start the car, just plug it in the ignition. Then we're going to go down under the dashboard again. We're going to take our tool and we're going to plug it into the computer connector down here. And then you'll see your scan tool will power up. And then remember what we did. I know it's kind of bright, hard to see. I'll get in close. We're going to scroll over to the electronic parking brake. We're going to hit OK. We're going to enter into it. We're going to go European because that's what it is. We're going to click OK again. We're going to scroll down till we get to Volkswagen. We're going to hit OK again. And we're going to go down to special functions. And we're going to hit OK again. Now we already deactivated it. Now we want to activate it. Scroll it down with the down arrows here, obviously. And then when you activate it, I'll press this in a second. I just want to let you listen to it back here. You'll hear the parking brake start to apply again. You we go. That's it. Parking brake is applied again, and you can hear it stopped. And then you come back into the computer itself, and it says activate brake. It's done. So that's it. We're all set. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to turn the key off, unplug our computer, put the wheels on, and road test it and make sure everything feels okay. All right, good luck. If I can do anything for you, run into an issue with it, give me a call or drop me a line, whatever works for you. Thanks for watching. See you guys on the next one. Good luck.